Hello and welcome to the Overshadow Shadowcast with your host Thomas Anderson and tech wizard Abigail Mowat.
Hello.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, or person.
The 13, 14 people that are subscribed and the 4 that listen.
Mm.
We are back.
Yeah, we managed to find a way to record together without endangering all of the human race. We'd have done it if it was only some of the human race, but all of the human race, yeah, it's a bit much.
The crazy thing is we've had this technology for a while, but I didn't realize that we could have done this before. Somebody was keeping that very close to his chest, weren't they?
No, because I told you when we were practicing recording more than just ourselves playing a game that I could record everybody at once. So
yeah, but I didn't know we could do this.
Right. Okay. Well, I did, and I just was choosing not to until we could do it with a bit more
time
panache. I have been playing Disintegration.
What is that?
So it's a free weekend game at the minute, or it's a game that's free this weekend. The Xbox Live Gold have it free to try, and it's very simple. So basically, what happens is that it's a yeah.
Sorry, I'm laughing because the way you said it's very simple. I thought you were going to go. So Abigail, you could probably handle it.
No, actually, I don't think so.
Oh.
It's simplistic in its sort of setup. It's weird. So we'll start with the background lore. Humans can get canned. And canning means that they have their brain, I think it is, taken out, or at least their consciousness taken out and stored in a androidy type, well, not android, in a robotic body.
Yeah, that's Doctor Who.
Right, no, it's okay, like lots of things have done it. But I don't think it's biologically their brain. I think their consciousness is just downloaded, but I'm not sure because they've not actually identified that. And there seems to be some sort of war going on between a group of people who are enforcing canning and people who, or integration they call it, and people who want it to be a choice. And you are a famous person who rides a grav cycle, and that's how you do combat. You're in charge of the group, the fire team, and you're in this grav cycle floating above everybody, and you're able to order them to use their powers, and you're able to fire cannons down, and you're able to heal them up. But that's all the background lore I can tell you, because literally it doesn't really give you any before you start.
Weird.
I don't know why they've done that. The game is pretty simple. It's very repetitive in a lot of ways. Which can be quite rewarding. It can feel quite enjoyable to do, but it is simple and repetitive. And I think like there was a massive update for the game before I was able to play it after I downloaded it. And the game's still less than 10 gigabytes for an Xbox One game that only came out this year.
That's really good.
It's not good because size when it comes to a video game is actually relevant. It's not necessarily good or bad, but it's very simple. 10 gigs for a game that has this high a graphical fidelity suggests that there's nothing in there, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very repetitive, and that's one of the reasons why. There's also the fact that the saving system seems to be, it's auto-saves at the end of a mission, and that's it.
I don't like it when things auto-save. I'd rather be able to choose when to save something.
Yeah, or a mission-style game, which obviously just saves at the end of a mission. But this is supposed to be a bit more... Well, Halo does that. But this is supposed to be a bit more open. It's supposed to feel a bit more open, and it just doesn't. And the idea that you can't save it is just weird. Also, I found that a lot of the missions are extremely simple as you go through them, and then you hit the end, and they just chuck everything at you in the boss battle that just gets tediously difficult all of a sudden. You're not prepared for it. You have to try every fight at the end of every mission like 3 or 4 times because you're not prepared for what they throw at you because it's been so easy on the way up.
Okay, so the game in which most people have downloaded their consciousness into some sort of android, but some people haven't.
Yes.
And then there's like there's missions you want. So are you playing as somebody that's had their brain downloaded or?
Yes, integration they call it. He's been integrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, there was a lot of explanation there, so I just wanted to make sure I had it right. Because I can't remember anything for Toffee.
No, it's not very good. They try to have you talk to people at the beginning between missions to try to get to know them a bit, as it were. A bit like things like Mass Effect do and KOTOR and stuff like that, but it doesn't work. You don't care. The characters aren't good enough.
Yeah.
It's not very good at all. They're all very stereotypical. It's
So
not very good.
so far out of 10, how many androids would you give it?
They're robots, not androids. They don't look human.
I'm just making stuff up.
I would go with. See, I'd say 6 objectively, but I want to give it a 4 or a 3.
What does your heart tell you to say?
3. The gameplay
Right, there
is
you go then.
kind of good. Your gameplay is kind of okay.
Yeah.
But it is repetitive and it looks quite cool. But the problem is they've made something that looks quite cool and should be interesting, but they've not put any effort into the story, and it just doesn't work because of it. It's very tedious. You give these things like challenges to do on the missions, like extra little things you can try during a mission.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that like there's a timer one, like complete the mission within such a certain amount of time, that doesn't reset the time if you reload a checkpoint. But if there's one that says like don't get seen, if you fail you have to restart the mission. You can't just load the last checkpoint. So it's built to be as punishing as possible. It's just like they're trying to.
No.
It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. They could have easily built a world that was absolutely fascinating, and they've not. And I just can't figure out why.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking forward to because I downloaded the Outer Worlds.
Oh yeah.
And I've been looking forward to playing that because it's supposed to be a very simplistic game, but it's supposed to be very intriguing within it.
Well, I think it's not simplistic. I think it's just...
The objective is simplistic. I think that's the idea. The game itself is not.
Yeah, it's like, because this game, Disintegration, is very, 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 very... The design, yeah, not the objective. Because the Disintegration is just simple in all ways.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have control of what weapons I have. They give you them at the start, and that's sort of it. And they just,
it's not great.
It's like they give you the weapons that suit, but also suit for a certain challenge. Because I could make it easier on myself if I picked a different setup, but they don't let you do that. It's a shame. It's still free tonight. I'll sit down and play it tonight, but I am really I'm upset because it could have been something so amazing. When I saw the trailer, I just wanted to see it, to play it. But the problem is, like, half the content of the trailer, if not more, is the opening cinematic.
Yeah.
They don't actually explain it any more than that. They just have the trailer as the cinematic at the start, and you're like, I still don't know what's happening here.
That drives me a little bit bonkers. Because then you think to yourself, did they put more effort into that opening sequence because they knew it was going to be the trailer? Or did they only use the opening sequence because that was the most interesting bit of the game?
No, that's not what I meant. What I meant was that it's the trailer. You know how trailers jump around and all that sort of jazz, and they show you bits happening in, like, what's it called? Like montage. That's the opening scene.
Oh, right. Okay, right. Sorry. Right, I get it now.
Like, my guy was in a prison, as were all the other guys at the very, very start. Nobody's ever explained why any of them are in there. It's just really annoying. Because they could have done something amazing with it.
Yeah.
Like,
can I talk about what I've been playing?
Yeah.
No, you finished what you were going to say. Sorry.
I was just going to say, technically, they might actually have put more story content or the explanation into some FIFA games. I can't believe I'm saying that.
I know, that was kind of hard to hear that. I'm sorry that I keep interrupting you. I think that we're going to be doing this. We're just going to be interrupting each other every now and again because obviously if we can't see each other, this is going to be quite difficult.
No, that's
because we can't judge people's body language.
Well, I might be able to find a wee app or something that lets us be polite when we want to interject. But
just like a color system, have a red light on when we're talking and then a green light when it's okay for you to speak.
No, it'd be more like you press the button when you want to interject, and then I see it and say go ahead. I think they do something like that at the UN. Anyway, is it the board game thing?
It's the Witcher Adventurer board game, computer game thing. Because Tommy sent me it, and I think it was like dead cheap or something like that, wasn't it? It wasn't, because I was like, I know I was going to get really angry if it was more than that.
The problem is that pardon me, for Christmas one year I got it for somebody for Bampot, and we never got a chance to play it for one reason or another. And now with COVID, it's not possible to get everybody together as easily. So instead of a physical board game, and that went on sale, I thought, it's £1. I'll just get it for
everyone.
The GTA team.
Yeah.
So I got it for Australia as well.
That's good.
So there's 4 players for 4 characters.
So you have to basically it's an RPG board game, isn't it? Is that what it's called? Role playing.
Yeah, it is. It's not role playing like a video game. You don't put point or D&D. You don't put points into skills, but you make choices.
I thought I got it right. I was very upset by that. I thought you were going to, oh, well done, Abigail, for being able to
It's
remember what it's called.
it's not that. It's more about defining what you mean by RPG than RPG being incorrect.
Okay. Anyway, so the idea is that
Which
you
means
can
I
play.
just said that you were correct, by the way.
Thank you. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So you can play as 4 different characters of these 4, but you can play either an online game or an offline game.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been playing offline just so I could get the knack of it because I've never played a game like that before, whether it be an actual board game or a electronic game. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. Computer game. Why couldn't I think of the word computer game?
It's a
Um,
digital copy of a physical game, yeah.
yeah. So I was having a go at the offline thing, and you can set limits to how long you play for. So you can play like a 10 to 20 minute, and then I think you can play 40 to 70, and then 70 to 90 or something like this. So I was having a go at kind of like that middle length game. And you can, if you're playing by yourself, you can either play totally by yourself, no other players, or you can, a bit like, like Monopoly and stuff like that. If you play it online, you can set them to like computers. So like they're
Bots, yeah.
the bots. And that's a little bit more fun than playing it just by yourself. And you've got objectives, like you draw a card and then that becomes your main objective for that game. And I think you can have a maximum of 3 objectives when you're playing offline.
Right, so that's 3 main quests.
That's what I mean, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
main quests.
And you get sort of like side missions that you can do and things like that.
Yeah, that took me a while to register that. I didn't really, I thought I thought that if it said like the main quest was in, oh, I don't know, any like Mazard or whatever it was, I had to just stay there. I didn't realize I could move about, or I was supposed to move about.
Yeah, you can
I
only...
just kept, sorry.
It's just if you have to do something for the quest, I think you have to be there. You can move around other than that.
Yeah, but also I thought that it was going to, like, if you moved around on the board, there was going to be a moment where you were actually walking around a street and you could see stuff. So I'm like, one of the main quests was I had to save somebody from jail. And I'm like constantly clicking on it. When's it going to let me go in there and try and save somebody from the jail? Because I thought I was actually going to have to fight in this game.
No,
I didn't realize I had to roll dice.
It's a dice roll.
I know.
It does depend.
I went through the tutorial before I started playing it, but it still didn't dawn on me what was going on.
It won't. In all honesty, it really won't. If you're not used to that sort of thing, that particular game takes a long time to understand exactly what all the rules were. In fact, I'm pretty certain even I have made mistakes because it's trying to remember how the rest system works and stuff like that. There's also the fact that I make subtle changes because I think it runs a bit better if you make a couple of subtle changes. And
Yeah.
like you were saying about how you can have 3 quests, I think it's a case of you can have 3 quests maximum, or you can maximize the points. I think it's first to 100 around the outside of the board.
Right.
Or you can have a time limit. But when I was playing it, or trying to play it with Bampot, and we weren't quite able to get through it, we were originally going to just play until like 500 and just move the pieces around the board.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's an option with the digital version. I don't think it allows you to increase the points total.
I have to double check that.
Yeah, because if you can, then you can just set it to whatever you want, which I would
But
prefer.
like I've said, I've only played the offline. I've not played the online, and I'm too scared to play the online in case I get put into a game with like people who are experts in this. Because that's what I was doing. That's what happened when I went into GTA Online, and people just kept mowing me down, and I was getting fed up with it.
That's not experts, Abigail. That's people who have more money in the game, so basically buy a jet every time they spawn in and then blow everybody up.
No, they weren't blowing people. It was like literally just somebody just kept finding me and just kept shooting at me.
Well, yeah, but that's not experts. Like, you just weren't used to the
that was
game.
just annoying.
Yes, it would definitely. I mean, I do not recommend playing on a public server in that game. I recommend highly playing on setting yourself up a crew and playing in a crew server.
Yeah, but I had to do it by myself first of all so I could get to the stage where I could play with all you guys.
You can,
and it was in that
You can
stage.
no, you can load up the game into a solo server, a solo
Oh, I didn't
session,
know
and do
that.
it that way.
Okay, well that would have made everything a lot easier then.
Yeah. Uh,
Anywho, so that's basically what I've been playing, and
well, hold
hope
on,
and I
just
keep.
one last
Oh,
thing. I'm going to ask you a question.
no.
We didn't
Okay.
talk about the characters you can go. It's a four-player game. Have you played them all?
I've played as the main dude and the
So
witchy
that's
girl.
right. So one is magic or blue,
Yeah,
one is fighting or red, and the other one
yeah.
is purple. Do you know what that
Purple.
is?
That's healing.
No, it's diplomacy.
Oh, the other one's healing then.
No,
One of them's healing.
the other one
No, the mage is
is
healing.
the other one is a mixture of fighting and diplomacy. I always end up playing as
The main dude?
no, the mixture guy,
Oh, right, okay.
the fighting diplomacy guy, because he's the
Yeah.
hardest to play as. Because the rest are all specialised into their field. In fact, you'll notice actually that in the case of like
The mage doesn't have as many dice.
yeah, because the mage is not allowed to actually take part in fights. Neither is the diplomat. They're not allowed to take part. They don't have a dice that
Yeah.
actually, if memory serves, has.
But you can increase the dice.
Yeah, but they don't have the actual, like, it's not just numbers, it's symbols. They don't have the necessary symbol to complete a quest from the fighting quest line.
No, sometimes you can. Sometimes because if you get there's like development cards.
Yeah.
And if you substitute a symbol, it can give you extra things. So like one of the mage's ones could give you an extra 2 swords and 3 shields. So you can complete a fighting one.
Oh, in that case, then it must, yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
it might be magic for, no, that wouldn't make sense. Well, it's still limited.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say that
Yeah,
I have actually been paying attention and I've been utilizing the cards. I
that's
still don't
good.
fully understand the oh, what is it? Not sorrow. You've got like a hero card and then you've got the other thing. Something soul,
Right?
foul card.
Oh, foul fate.
Foul fate, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are bad things basically that happen to you that you have to just
Yeah.
deal with. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
You've
So
been
that's what
enjoying it.
I have actually. I tell you what, I lost an hour to it the other day.
That's good.
Just wasn't paying attention and then lost an hour, which was quite nice because I was trying to kill time.
Good.
So I highly recommend it actually. I think it's a good I think here's the thing. If you're like me, who sometimes has quite a lot of trouble following the rules of games, especially if they're complicated like that, where they've got like different cards and different dice systems. But someone I think once did try to teach me a game like that, and I just couldn't. The amount of rules that was involved, I zoned out after about a minute of them. I think it was somebody tried to explain it to me, and I just zoned out completely, and I just couldn't play it.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
this way, it's a lot easier. So I think this is actually a good introduction to how you could play a game like that.
Yeah, because it basically, a game that complicated, you have to have tried it to be able to.
Yeah. But if you don't want to feel like an idiot in front of loads of other people, you could play it by yourself. Like I
Exactly.
am.
Yeah, you can practice with bots,
Yeah.
and you need to
And also
play.
you can fast forward the bots. You can put them onto ×5 so it goes
That's
through it
good.
quicker.
And you have to have played a game like that so that you can know how you want to set your character up.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway,
So there you go.
stories.
Stories, yes. Would you want to go first or me?
No, you.
Okay, so the first story I have is that many sources are reporting on yet another worrying rumor about the PS5 console. Gaming sites. Oh, sorry.
PlayStation 5.
I'm gonna say PS5.
Yes, I know, but we
Most
should give a bracket.
But most people know what PS5 is.
Really, so we're just going to exclude the not most people.
Right, PlayStation. PS stands for PlayStation. I'm gonna abbreviate it from now onwards. So, another worrying rumor about the PS5. Gaming sites are speculating that the PS5 will only have a lifespan of roughly around 5 years. Now, that may seem pretty reasonable and even for a long time period. That is until you find out about the lifespan of the previous consoles. Since the release of the PS1, each incarnation of the PlayStation has had roughly the lifespan of... Sorry, I keep hitting the cables attached to my mic and I keep hearing this weird noise in my ears. Since the PS1, each incarnation of the PlayStation has had a lifespan of roughly 6 to 7 years. When it comes to Xbox, they have actually had a gradual increase of lifespans per console of roughly around a year, with the Xbox One having a lifespan of 7 to 8 years. Now, if this is true, this gives me a bit of a worrying feeling, because I've seen this before with mobiles. Because I mean, does anybody remember the brick mobiles? You know, like those first Nokia ones, where uh, they get dropped in water. You could run them over your car, get chewed on by pets, and they'd still work as if you've just taken them out of the box. And then the smartphones happened, and then that basically wiped out those dinosaur phones, and including the lifespan of those phones as well, because most smartphones have a typical lifespan of roughly 2 to 3 years if you're lucky, but some manufacturers have it a lot less, sometimes 1.5 to 2. And I'm kind of worrying that the same principle may be starting to lead down to the consoles, especially with the increase in popularity of gaming. Because at one point, mobiles weren't all that popular. They were seen as a necessity, and then it became like a fun thing to have, which is what consoles are more and more starting to get on the radar for a lot of people. Because they've got to, like, I mean, over the last few years, you've had loads of different accessories for gaming consoles and stuff like that. So I just worry it's going down that route. What's your thoughts? Did I say all that very quickly by mistake?
No, that's good. I can see the worry, but 5 years is not that bad for a console.
I know, but when you're looking at, say, the previous incarnations of the consoles, 1 or 2 years more than the PS5. And then you've got the Xboxes, which have been increasing the lifespan.
No, not really.
Well, some of them have.
Right, the Xbox Classic.
That had a
was
lifespan of roughly 5 years.
4 or 5. I think it was 4.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is it's been slowly, like, the lifespan has been increasing.
Right, but the Xbox 360 had a lifespan of 8 years. And then the Xbox One had a lifespan of 6.
Well, the reports I was seeing was the Xbox One was having a lifespan of 7 to 8.
I'm pretty certain that the first Xbox One came out in 2014.
Well, maybe I meant the most recent one then.
2015, sorry, hold on.
The only thing that sort of gives me hope is the fact that people still need a long time to produce these games.
Yeah,
So you're always going... Sorry.
It came out in 2013. Japan and China were 2014, but 2013. So that means it was a lifespan of 8 years. So to say that's gradually increasing is factually incorrect.
Well, it's just I was just going on by the reports that I was seeing, because it had like a bar. Like I was looking at a bar graph, and that's what it told me.
Well, it's 2001 to 2005, and then it's 2005 to 2013, and then 2013 to 2020. So that's 4, 8, 7.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like an actual. I thought that the lifespan meant like how long it would like last for.
No, that's not at all. Like
Right. Okay. Because I know that even with certain mobiles, like ones from like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, you can still use them. It won't be as brilliant, but
so
most.
What lifespan means is when the next console generation will come out, not how long the physical console will last.
Okay, I thought that's what it meant, because in my head that is what lifespan means.
No, because it's a lifespan of the generation, not an individual PlayStation 5.
But even if it is still a little bit worrying that it's less than the previous incarnations. Because you think to yourself, is this just the beginning? Maybe the next one's going to be 4 years.
Well, in fairness,
effectively you're spending more money more frequently.
I think the lifespan of the consoles that started gaming was actually very small.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, yes, it got a lot better. But what I'm saying is that if it's reverting backwards again, if they start doing that, that's what I'm worried about. That's literally what I'm just kind of concerned with.
I'm concerned about it because, well, I understand where you're coming from, but like the N64 had a lifespan, from the looks of it, of 5 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Nintendo, yeah.
It's about roughly, actually, it's just fluctuating between 5 and 8, and I think that's okay. It will get a bit faster because of the fact that the technology will adapt faster. Like Moore's law means that this stuff's going to get way more powerful every 18 months, but they release upgraded versions. So that sorts that problem. So the generation itself should last 5 to 8. My issue is if they try to get rid of it so they can bring in streaming. I'm not interested in streaming. I'm not
No.
interested. There's absolutely no way I can play something like Halo as well on my phone as I could on a console. No way. And if
No.
it does work, either that's an incredible phone or it's a rubbish console or it's a rubbish game.
Yeah.
So no, it just doesn't. Like PC is still better than console.
Yeah. It's like I was having a conversation with somebody the other day who's also into gaming. And she was saying, I was talking to her about it. It's like, I find it quite fun because we were talking about the latest look of the Xbox, the what's it called, the new one that's going to be coming out. So I got it wrong the last time I did this. I got it wrong, and I had to put up an error message on the podcast.
Go ahead.
Xbox Series X.
I believe so.
Yes. And because we were joking about the look of it. It looks more like a PC than it does. It looks like quite boxy.
Aye.
And I was joking with her, it's like how most smartphones are slowly turning into tablets and how consoles are now slowly morphing into PCs.
Yeah, but that's preferable to consoles morphing into nothing because you're streaming everything.
Yeah.
I don't like that idea at all.
Do you think that the digital versions of the consoles will sell as well? Because there's a digital version, because like there's a disc and digital version of the PS5. I think that there's going to be a digital version of the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, it looks to me as if the PlayStation has been designed to be digital. The shape of it doesn't make sense. It's got this weird lump for a disc tray.
Yeah, because the Google Stadia, that was digital, wasn't it? And no one talks about that.
Stadia, and it's not digital.
Stadia.
It's streaming.
I thought that was the same thing.
No, digital, you can still download and install it like Steam on a PC. There's no disc.
Yeah, okay.
But the Stadia was no download, it was stream. You stream everything. But there's absolutely no way the RAM of a Stadia could cope with that, and it didn't. That's why nobody got it. I
also don't believe a lot of people's broadband can also help handle that.
No, you want as minimal amount of information going across the internet as possible because it speeds the gameplay up. The ping would go mental if everybody was streaming gigabytes all the time.
I can understand this maybe in 10 years' time when fiber will look like a steam engine, but not at the moment. Not at the moment.
I think capitalism actually dictates that this will never actually work properly.
No.
Because there's too much benefit to them to slow the internet down, make a demand for it to go faster, and then offer better.
Right. Can I? Do you want to do a story, or do you want me to do it?
I never answered your question.
Oh.
About digital or hard disc.
Oh, sorry.
I think that it depends on the person. That's why it's so difficult to answer. I will get a disc version. Because if somebody gets me a disc, a hard copy, then, or I get myself one in a collector's bundle, I want to be able to do that.
Yeah, same. I mean, I won't be getting a PS5. I won't be able to afford it this year.
But it's plenty of people who don't want disc.
People who don't have a lot of space. Like a lot of storage space, I should say.
But there's also
as in the actual house.
Yes, but there's also people who don't have the extra 25 or 50 quid that it costs to get a disc tray. They might just say, whatever, I'll trade it in later when I've got a bit more money.
Do you think the digital is going to be cheaper? Do you think
it is cheaper, I think. Memory serves, it is cheaper. Not by hundreds.
I didn't think they'd released the pricing for the PS5. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't think they've released the official pricing, but I think they've released
hints.
Not hints, they've talked about it. And they've, for both consoles, they've said there'll be a cheaper digital version, I think. But you're talking 25 quid, not 100. So for me, it's not worth it.
There will be some people out there that will think it is.
I mean,
anywho,
the size might be one actually, because like the PlayStation, like I said, its shape changes because of the disc tray.
Would you like to do a story, or would you like me to do my last story?
Go ahead.
So it's a quick one. It's about Halo Infinite. So Smith's Toys Superstore did a bit of a boo-boo. Earlier this week, they put an advertisement on their site for Halo Infinite and had in the description groundbreaking free-to-play multiplayer experience with greatly reduced load times. Now, the advertisement was taken off their site very quickly, but I've said before, this is the internet and nothing ever disappears from the internet. It's always out there in some incarnation or the other. So people got hold of it and this news started circulating, because I don't believe Microsoft had officially announced it, but they've had to come out and officially announce it now in a tweet saying Halo is for everyone. We can confirm hashtag Halo Infinite multiplayer will be free to play and will support 120 FPS frames per second. Is that right?
Yeah.
On Xbox Series X. More details will be shared later.
Okay, so
I think that
this is a small thing.
Yeah.
We can go over quickly. I think I'll add in something I was going to say, which was that recently the Halo developers come out and said that they're working hard to improve on the graphical limitations that were evident from the showcase a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they've also released something saying that they want to get crossplay, so that for the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
Don't know how well that'll work, but yeah.
But I think it was just it's just funny when stuff like this happens. I think when people accidentally put in information they weren't supposed to. Or sometimes you think, did they do that, or did Microsoft give them a little inklings as to actually do that?
My concern here is groundbreaking free-to-play multiplayer experience suggests that there's going to be microtransactions or loot boxes. That's a bit of a concern. Secondly,
I think it's always that will always be a concern.
Yeah, but it's the fact it says free-to-play. That basically gives them carte blanche to do whatever they want and say they have to get their money back somehow.
Yeah.
And
loads of people do that.
Yeah, and greatly reduced load times. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Like, compared with 5, or just in general, or I mean, like just for that amount of data, is it very reduced? I don't understand what that even means.
Well, that's all that I could find.
No, I know, but they've said that, but what does it mean? Yeah, okay. Is that story?
That is that story.
So the only thing I wanted to bring up, because as I said, I did have something about Halo Infinite, but I just threw it in there.
Oh, sorry. Did I take your thunder?
No. I was actually just thinking about how I would bring that up, and that became a very good way to do it. The one thing I had was, so CD Projekt Red have stated that their game will not have any politics. It will have no politics. But what they actually meant, because remember, this is Polish people, Polish company, and there's mistranslations all the time that certain types of people like to take advantage of, have said that there'll be no politics, and what that means is they will not have reactionary politics. The game will be full of politics. They will be discussing politics, but it will be a story that they themselves want to talk about. It will be a point of politics or a point of the world that they advancement, science, governance, sociology that they want to talk about, not reactionary politics. So it's sort of similar to like Far Cry 5 was admonished by certain types of people because it was set in America, but they didn't talk about Trump. Well, that wasn't the story they wanted to tell. Why are you telling them they have to do that?
Oh, okay, right, I got it.
That's basically the point here, is that they're not going to do reactionary politics. They're not going to be talking about Black Lives Matter. They're not going to be talking about police corruption. They're not going to be talking about the pandemic, that sort of thing necessarily. They're talking about the story they want to tell. They will not reaction to what's being spoken about at the moment. They will do what they need to do and tell the story they want to tell.
Right,
and they're already being told, no, naughty, naughty, naughty. And I'm just sitting thinking, it's similar to a story I told about last week. Like, all these people who are woke and all the rest of that rubbish, when they turn around and talk about white people and white privilege and all that, they've got a good point, but they always end up ruining it, because they always turn around and talk about America. This is Poland. Well, not here, this is Scotland. But the game's being made in Poland.
Yeah,
what's happening in America doesn't matter.
Yeah. Because, I mean, think of how much stuff goes on in other countries that we don't hear about. So there's going to be massive problems in everybody's countries. But because, I'm trying to be delicate when I say this, certain topics
Issues
are talked about more, but there's issues which are equally as important.
There's also the fact that American culture is so virally pervasive, it's infected everybody, that everybody knows what's happening there and talks about it, so it becomes world news. It's the only world news that there is.
Yeah.
And it's just not the case.
because there's certain countries out there where they monitor what you say, they monitor what gets put in the newspaper, so they get shut up quite a lot. So this is a way sometimes for countries to be able to talk about what's going on in their countries without their government clamping down on them in a way, if you get what I mean.
No, I don't know where
Oh.
that came from. We're talking about Poland.
Well, I don't know what happens in Poland. Is that not
I mean, it's an
what happens?
ex-Soviet
What happens in
country.
Poland? What happens in Poland? I don't know.
What
But I'm
happens in
talking about.
Poland stays in
I'm
Poland.
talking Poland. No, but
Um,
I'm talking about in general, like in other countries as well.
yeah, like, I mean,
I'm not specifically talking about CD Projekt Red. I'm not
right,
specifically
what
talking
I'm
about
going to
Poland.
say, because what you said was a
I'm,
bit
I'm going. I'm
mental.
going. I'm going on in that
Just let me
tangent.
fix. Just let me fix. What you said was a bit mental and totally didn't work in what the conversation. But what I will say is that you're right in that just because America hasn't heard of Poland's problems doesn't mean there aren't any.
Yeah.
And people making games in Poland get to talk about whatever they want to talk about.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they're being ruled by a dictatorship.
No,
It just
no,
means
I'm
that
not.
they get to talk about it.
Yeah. But
What?
I was talking that's what I was getting to, and then I went off on a tangent. I
Yeah, you did
apologize
go in
about
a bit
that.
of a.
I'm
a
sorry.
it was a bit of a tinfoil hat tangent there, but
Sorry.
um,
Sorry.
you apologise to
Sorry.
everybody in Poland
Sorry.
individually.
Yes. Sorry, Poland. Did not mean that.
Didn't not mean that.
I didn't mean
Yeah,
that.
that's better to try to sneak a double negative past the Polish people because you
Oh,
don't think they'll
that's my
understand.
dyslexic brain getting involved.
It really annoys me when people in America think that their news is so important. It's like, I care about what's happening in America because as people,
God, yeah.
see when you start talking about flag waving, America, this is America, but that's when I stop caring. Like, I don't have to care about you because you're American. I don't have to care about America because it's America. It's people
Yeah.
who are having some bad stuff happen to them. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not the most important thing in the world. There are other things. It's just really annoying.
That's what I see when you tell people that. They go, "Oh, you mean it's not important?" I'm like, "No, it is important. It is crucially important. But what I am saying is there's other things out there that are equally as important at the moment."
There are some things which are even more important.
Yeah.
I mean, it really annoys me that we've got all these protests worldwide for Black Lives Matter. Not that by itself, that's important and it's good that people are protesting.
Yeah.
And it's, for example, with the pandemic, it's good that people are changing their entire way of life to suit the pandemic so that people are kept safe and alive.
Well, certain people are changing their lives.
Yes, but it annoys me that those changes are only made for a pandemic and protests are only happening for Black Lives Matter, or at least it's been taken this seriously worldwide, but we can't fix climate change or cancer.
No.
Like, what? Like, I can't, or tax evasion by massive companies, or slavery. We can't fix these problems because that would be too difficult. But a pandemic, we sorted within like weeks of it being a problem. Most countries in the world were doing something about it. Black Lives Matter has already resulted in huge changes, not all of which I actually agree with, but there's no impetus to actually save the planet. It's just an impetus to make it woke before it dies. It's just weird. It's just really weird.
My only concern was with the protests was that some people weren't wearing masks and stuff like that and being too close to each other.
Yeah, that was my concern.
It's like I want you guys, like, I want everybody out, like, if you want to go out protesting, go for it because it is an important issue and I do believe we need to have a bigger discussion about it and I believe action does need to be taken. However, we also need to make sure everybody's safe while you do it.
Yeah, completely.
I was genuinely just scared for the protesters because I didn't want them getting sick.
Yeah.
Like, that was my only concern.
Also, as much as you might not like the police right now, and as much as you might not like the military right now or federal agents in America, they don't deserve to die from COVID.
No.
So, but America has not taken the problem seriously at all.
No. Well, did you hear about there was like anti-mask protesters out or anti-COVID protesters out or anti-lockdown, that was it. And the person who was in charge of it got COVID-19. She survived, but she got COVID-19 and she was still up there saying, "Oh, you don't need to wear masks. Stop the lockdown in America."
Yeah, it's just stupid. Anyway,
I think we've gone out of the world of gaming.
Basically,
we need to get back.
Yeah, but basically the point I'm making is that they get to CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk 2077 get to tell Did I say it was Cyberpunk 2077? If I didn't, I apologise.
No, you
But
didn't. I was really confused. You just said the game.
sorry. See, next time I do that, can you please point it out?
Well, I thought you were going to say it, and you hadn't said it yet, and it wasn't until you just said it just there. So
Right. So it was with
sorry.
CD. It was with Cyberpunk 2077. They get to tell the story they want to tell, and they don't need to react to something just because you think it's important. So yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with them.
So all you have?
Yeah, that's just what I wanted to talk about.
Okay, cool. Well, I enjoyed doing this with you today.
Ditto.
It was nice change to actually have somebody to talk to about this.
Yeah, and this worked quite well actually. I quite like this.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to getting to the moment where we could both be in the same room and record.
I'm not. Somebody will die.
No,
Die.
they'll be fine.
Death of deathiness.
Ugh.
Die.
Do you know what I was trying to say? Like, oh, I'm looking forward to us being able to be in the same room again eventually.
Yeah. Meh.
Anywho, that actually hurts.
Oh,
That actually hurts. I'm not gonna lie, that actually hurt. I feel
I-
unwanted.
No, I'm just not big on face-to-face stuff. As you know, I never liked it in the first place. Everybody's always saying, "Oh, lockdown, I was so bored." No, you're telling
but-
me I have to stay inside. I'm not allowed to go out. Good.
So if you enjoyed today and you liked what you heard, you can always subscribe to our channel. You can hit that notification bell for when we upload. You can hit that like button. You can hear that share button and share it on Facebook and all the other social media wonderfulness is out there at the moment. You can also leave a comment down below. That'd be fantastic. You can email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook at overshadow.shadowcast. And I'll leave all that information in the description box below because I shall be the one editing this.
Yes.
I've gotten good at that.
Yeah, you have actually. That
I've
was.
gotten very good at doing the spiel at the end.
Aye.
Yes.
It's weird. See when I had to take like a month off to do uni work.
Yeah.
I came back to it and I couldn't do the intro.
It's really strange, I know.
Yeah. Coming back to it, I just couldn't do it.
I have to do it about 4 times. 'cause it
Hello,
sounds
Shadowcast,
weird.
and welcome to. Oh, that's not right.
Yeah, I know.
Welcome to Overshadow Shadowcast. I'm Abigail. No, that's not right.
Well, Tommy has a minor mental breakdown there. I will say thank you guys so much for listening, and hopefully you guys will be back next week with us.
Yes.
And hopefully Tommy will be back. Will we be doing this both together next week?
Yeah, like if we can do it this way, it's easier for me to do
Yes.
it this way. So yeah.
At 10 a.m. we will sit down and record this like we used to, so I can have a day. Because I've been waiting around for hours. You promised 10 a.m.
I didn't promise 10 a.m.
Yes, you did. I've got it in
No,
text.
future 10 a.m. Not today. I didn't promise 10 a.m. today.
Not 10 a.m. I just
Right.
presumed it was going to be 10 a.m.
Yeah, well, you made a presume of yourself, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Mm.
So
Anyway.
if you have not got anything left to say,
No, that's it.
right. Well, thanks everybody and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.